With just 4 months till it goes live, confidence in Scotland's bottle return scheme is still shaky. The UK government is yet to give the go-ahead, and if it does, we've heard concern it could be disastrous for small producers.
But similar schemes operate all over the world. One of the most successful can be found in Denmark. Well, we sent our climate correspondent Caroline Lewis to find out how it works there.
Located just outside Copenhagen, this is one of 2 giant processing plants in Denmark, where millions of drinks containers are sorted and counted every day before being shipped off and made into new ones.
Annually, we are at our 2 plants. We process around 2 billion containers in the categories of beers, soft drinks, fruit juices, waters, ready to drink, and fruit syrups as well. We are recycling to a closed loop, going into the drinking category again. For 95% of what we receive here will go into be new drinking containers again. So it's actually quite efficient.
Denmark's deposit scheme was introduced 20 years ago. Over the last decade, the number of bottles handled at the plant has more than doubled. Today, almost all drinks containers sold in the country make it back here to be recycled. Denmark has pushed to make recycling as easy as possible, with 16,000 collection points across the country.
At what step? They can take 200 or 300 bottles at one time, and you can see it on the TV here, how many bottles there is in plastic or metal, and after that the customer can go into the shop and use the money.
Scotland has struggled with the issue of bottles and borders. In Denmark, each bottle has a special mark, differentiating it from bottles from over the border in Sweden. When placed in the machine, the label is scanned, and while both bottles will still be accepted and recycled, only ones with a Danish mark will return a deposit. But this isn't the only controversy plaguing the Scottish system. Producers say it still lacks detail and could push small businesses under. Some have refused to sign up to the scheme, including Janie, who runs a distillery in East Renfrewshire.
Us being included in the scheme is a joke. Circularity Scotland, the Chief Operating Officer, told us at an event that small producers' involvement within the scheme would be like dust in the wind.
But it means that from August, she may not be able to sell produce in Scotland at all.
Tourist facilities here, accommodation, our shop expansion, all these things we're really excited for. If we cannot sell to the Scottish market, then all that has to stop. All those people that we're currently employing out of a job.
And this is where Denmark differs. While the system was set up by the government, it's now run by the breweries, one of which is run by Martin Thompson, who says it was done this way in order to protect smaller producers.
Of course, we want to be a part of the green solution, but we also want to do it as cheap as possible. And I could be afraid if it was not ourselves that was in control of that they wouldn't care about these things.
Due to a collective effort, fees have dropped significantly over the years. And as of 2023, the scheme is entirely self-sufficient.
Because we own the system ourselves, we managed to recycle like 95% of all the glass bottles and cans in Denmark and sell it again, so we don't pay anything for having the system.
Denmark is proof that if you get all parties on board, deposit return schemes can be a success. From a consumer point of view, what does Scotland need to do to make this a success?
I think 2 things are essential. First of all, consumers need to understand the whole environmental story. I mean, there's a 95% carbon footprint saved by reusing a can. The other really, really important part is that it needs to be easy for consumers.
But with Scottish stakeholders still not convinced and no go-ahead from the UK government, there's still a chance that Scotland's deposit return scheme will falter before it even gets off the ground.
Well, Caroline is here with us now, and we know lots of reservations here still. But you were over there, Caroline, so can you tell us, why has it been such a success in Denmark?
I think that's really down to a big effort to engage and involve everybody that's involved in it, from breweries, retailers, hospitality. I mean, you saw in the report there, the breweries really have agency over how it works. And because of that, they work as a collective. And the big guys like Carlsberg really take a hit for the smaller guys, but it's also really easy for consumers. There's an app, which means they return a bottle and that money goes straight into their bank account. And because of that, and the fact it works so well, it's a system that Danish people can be proud of. And over time, that has translated into culture. So much so that there's actually a word in the Danish language, which I won't try and say, which means the act of returning bottles in this way. And that's going to be make or break for Scotland. You have to make a system that is not only beneficial for the environment, but for everybody that's involved in this game.
All right, Caroline, thanks very much for that. Thank you.